What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Ground Force Gaming. Nova here with another Street Fighter Duel video, and today, as you may have guessed it, we are going to be talking about Fashion Ken. All right, and the reason that we're doing this is for a completely different reason than what the other creators have been talking about him for. And I know there's a lot of hype around him right now. I'm seeing it in my Discord. I'm seeing it in the Street Fighter Duel Discord. All the creators are hyped about him, freaking out about his kit. But I want to bring something to your attention here before everyone gets too excited about him, because for one, we don't know how we're going to be able to acquire him. Maybe it's a login situation like Fashion Blanca. Maybe you have to pay for him, but there's going to be like a discount thing, kind of like with Athlete Chun Li or Nero. Maybe it'll be something completely different. Maybe there'll be some new objective introduced in the game that will allow us to unlock him. Nobody knows right now, so I don't want you guys to get too excited about how you're going to get him, because for free-to-play players, acquiring him might not be an option. And I just want to say that I think that might be okay. The reason I say that is because I don't really see where he fits into the meta right now. And I know his kit reads well, but one thing we need to keep in mind here is that there's not really like any ideal pairing for him. I think that his combo slots are a little bit not ideal. And unfortunately, some of them, even though they have a great mechanic to it, you're not going to want to use it. And what I mean by that is when we're talking about his super here, his entire fighting spirit, his entire FS is based off of his super. So you have to use it. Otherwise, you're negating his entire fighting spirit. So you want to have Crimson Scorch inflicted. Okay, I'm not going to like read these to you guys, but if you're not inflicting Crimson Scorch, then you're not doing anything in here at all. And this is where you get speed lessening for the other team. It's where you even get like almost like speed leeching. You're like taking away speed from them and then giving it to your own combo gauge, which is a really interesting mechanic. I think it's really cool. He's got his own little version of bleed where he's dealing damage over time when they do any sort of normal attack. They're taking a percentage of true damage based on his attack, it's an amazing mechanic. It's really good. His C1, now this is one where I guess it reads well, but I don't know why you would ever use it, because you can't use his C1 if you use his super. And this is doing an AoE single attack, right? That is dispelling a shield and inflicting stun for 3 seconds. I tried really hard to see if this could trigger an interrupt, and I couldn't make it work. It might be possible, but since it's a single attack, I don't really think that it's a valid skill to be using, because you're not going to accomplish anything by that. You can test it out in the trial grounds, and I'll show you guys where you can do that if you want to try that for yourself. I tried it a lot of times, could not get an interrupt. Maybe it works, but it's going to be unpredictable at best, and still, you need to use a super. So why are you using his C1? His passive, it's very good. He's increasing speed, and then he's also increasing damage dealt. And what's really cool in this circumstance is that you're getting that benefit as well from his vehicles. Okay, so his vehicles are going to be increasing that, and it's also going to be applying it to the rest of the team, which is always very helpful. Getting more speed, getting more damage, it's very important. His C3, now this is where things get kind of interesting. We don't have a good bleed team right now. And this is something that we've talked about quite a few different times. And he's very kind of purposed around bleed, to be honest with you, because your best burn mechanic situation is going to be using Dulcim or using Fashion Blanca, but Dulcim's a C3 unit. So if you're using Dulcim's C3, then you're not getting any of the benefits from him on C3, because honestly, Dulcim's C3 is better. And that's where you're getting all the burn from. So you could use him with Fashion Blanca, but then who do you put Dulcim with? Flame Chun Li? A lot of people don't have Flame Chun Li, so it kind of messes up that team situation, and it makes me unsure where to put him. Does this give more value to Vega? Maybe. But I don't think that Vega's kit really lines up with Fashion Ken either, because you're getting Sublime Bleed on his C3, but you need to be using Fashion Ken's C3. And you also need to be using Fashion Ken's super, so you know, where do they kind of line up? Because if I remember correctly, if we look at Vega, he's a C2, C3, and his C2 is not doing any bleed. His passive, I don't even believe it inflicts it either. It just changes the way that damage is dealt and everything. So you have to be using his C3 unless, you know, his fighting spirit does something. But I don't really want to dive too deep into that. The point here is I don't really think that they mesh very well together. Just, you know, at the surface. So I'm not really sure where he falls into play. as far as that works. And his C3 is also single target. So it's doing a lot of damage. And you'll see that he's at the power level that he is in the trial grounds here where you can test him. He's relatively doing the same kind of like HP removal, like in chunks, kind of like Sea Viper does, which is good. It's very good, but I just don't think that it's really fully realized. And it's also, like I said, it's not AoE. So you're not really, you're getting a great return on a single target if you're stacking bleed, but where's that bleed coming from? You know, right now, I just don't think that we have that realized. So what I want to do is just go into the trial grounds here, and I want to show you guys where you can test against the shields. It's this one here. Abel's in here. You can try with the C1, see if you can get an interrupt. I couldn't get it to work, but you know, it is possible, I suppose, but it's not going to be something that you can rely on. One thing that I really do like about him is that speed is a big mechanic for him. It's been a very underlying thing for new fighters that we've been seeing. Mummy Dalsim takes speed away. Summer Ibuki brings a lot of speed to the table, brings combo boosting and everything. And now we see him doing the same as well. And if we look at his kit here, his speed is 135. That's the exact same speed as Chun Li, and everybody knows Chun Li is very fast in this game. So I think that that's really amazing. He's actually faster than B. Zangief as well. So pairing the two of them together actually works quite well. But when I was doing this testing, and I think that this is kind of the telling point here in really understanding Fashion Ken's value in the game, because we're gonna play this same matchup 2 times, and we're gonna take note of the time that it takes to win. We're gonna take note of how quickly certain fighters get taken out, and then I also want to notate damage at the end, and it's because there's something that's really interesting that happens with this matchup, and I think that you guys will be really interested to see this, because if you're thinking about getting Fashion Ken, I think it's a good idea for you to see this and use this in making your judgment, because if we do have to pay for him, you might want to know, like truthfully, whether or not he's worth it. And I recommend, you know, watch what I'm going to do here, but also test it for yourself in the trial grounds. You have access to this also. You can test it on all the different lineups. I know you can't test him with whoever you want, but you can still try different matchups and you can really see what his damage looks like. So let's do this first one. Combo is going to be this one right here. We're going to do Fashion Ken, Athlete Chun Li, B. Zangief, and then we're going to do Fashion Ken again. I'm not going to do manual. We'll just leave this in auto. We'll put this at 2x speed and let this play out. So Fashion Ken is going to be our primary damage dealer here. Make note of the time on the top right, and let's see how quickly we can beat this fight. We're obviously going to win. I've done this many, many, many times today, but I thought this was a really good one to do the battle against because they have Summer Ibuki. So this is a very fast team. All right, so here we go. We're getting down to it here. So 55 seconds, right? 55, 54, something like that. Let's take a look at the damage. I think this will be surprising to you guys. Look who dealt the most damage in this fight. Athlete Chun Li. All right, let's go ahead and just, for fun, let's back out and let's do this again. Athlete Chun Li dealt more damage than Fashion Ken. And that's because she's SSS, she has her vehicle. So when she comes out with her C1, she's doing an AoE attack as well. Okay, we've got Fashion Ken in here. Let's do the exact same thing again. Let's get B. Zangief. We'll put Athlete Chun Li in the tag. We're going to run the same combo chain. Okay, and let's just run it back again. Still in auto. No manual use going on here. Note the time again, because the time might be a little bit different this time. This is an easy win, so this is a great one to test it on because then you can really kind of see how the mechanics function. Okay, we're looking to be roughly about the same. This could be a little bit faster than the previous one. We're getting down to 60 here. 57. Okay, still alive. 53, 52, 51. All right, let's check the damage again. Athlete Chun Li dealt more damage than Fashion Ken. Now, let's just back out of here real quick. Go back into trial. We're going to come back up here, and then we're going to run a tried and true combo chain here. All right, so we're going to run this back. We're going to do the exact same lineup. We're going to put B. Zangief in. We're going to put in Guile. We're going to put Athlete Chun Li, and we're going to do Exactly the lineup that you would think with this combo chain. All right, so take note of the time here. And then when this is done, we're going to check the damage as well. All right, so Guile's going to come in with his attack. B. Zangief's going to come in. We got 3 people down already before the 70-second mark. Just Summer Ibuki's left. She was in the tag. So what are we going to end up here with time? Okay, 63 seconds. Faster than the previous one. And the faster you take down your opponents, the better, right? Let's look at our stats. Look at Guile's damage, okay? He's doing more damage than Athlete Chun Li. And, subsequently more damage than Fashion Ken as well. Let's back out of here real quick. We're going to go back into the trial. We'll do the exact same fight again. And we'll take a look at the numbers one more time. So Guile's going to go in, Athlete Chun Li, B. Zangief, exact same combo chain. Perfect. Okay, we'll run it back. See how this time looks when this one ends. So 63 for the Guile team as opposed to 57 and 54. So already faster. And this one might prove to be roughly around the same time. Depending on how the hits land, I did have one earlier actually end at 70 seconds. Obviously, there's some RNG here, but that was 62, right? So this team 2 times in a row has won faster, and both times Guile has done more damage. So I don't know. I honestly, I don't really know how I feel about Fashion Ken. I think everybody got really hyped about him at first, and I'll admit that when I first started reading his kit and I was looking at him, I was like, wow, this new shiny unit, this sounds awesome. He looks cool. He's got good mechanics. I just don't see him as being like a must-have anymore, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know where he fits in the meta. Athlete Chun Li dealt more damage than him in every single instance of that I've tried, and I tried way more before I started making this video. And it was because of that I decided I should make this video in the first place, because I think it's easy to get hyped about new units, and I think it's very normal to just get excited about something that's brand new in a game, but I think that we need to learn to be more practical about these fighters when they come out rather than just getting excited and hyping them before we do any real testing with them, because so far I don't really see him shining, and I'm not really sure how he's even going to fit into the teams that I'm using right now. Maybe for bosses he's going to be better, but I don't really know. I don't really know how I'm going to use him. So I'm interested in hearing what you guys think, and please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to read them and hear what you think about him and where you see him being used, and maybe I missed something. I don't know. Anyway, that's going to cut it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate you guys hanging out on our channel. Be sure to subscribe, throw a like on the video, and stay tuned for the next ones. Cheers.